Hey YouTube, Sandy Frank here. This week's episode of Hobby Talk, it's going to be about Metazoo. So if you have no interest in Metazoo, then, I mean, you could have told by the title that it was going to be about Metazoo. But I've been thinking about this lately, watching prices of Metazoo sealed booster boxes, and wondering what is the floor for Metazoo. It seems like the boxes continue to drop and drop and drop, and you think, oh, there's no way they'll be cheaper than they are now. And you look back a month later, and they're another $5 cheaper. So I'm also going to test out a new little trick on my phone here. It's not really a trick. It's me zooming in. So the first set we'll talk about. See, it does work. Do live zoom in. We'll talk about Cryptid Nation. There's a chunky Pikachu back there too. But this is first we'll talk about the first edition boxes. I'm not going to talk about the Kickstarter ones, but those, I think they're so rare it's really hard to figure out what a floor would be. The first edition boxes, which I do not have one, I'm waiting for a good deal to come my way someday. The first edition boxes seem to they've definitely kind of stabilized in a price around the $400 to $500 range, and that seems like if people are selling them, that's about what they go for. And I mean, it is the first ever set. It is the first edition, first ever set, and honestly, it has the best cryptids. I think the most interesting cryptids are from that set. So I think even as Metazoo has kind of died in popularity and not a lot of people playing it, the people that like the cards and stuff, I think there was a low enough number of Cryptid Nation First Edition boxes made and ripped open that I think the floor of that would probably be about $350 to $400. If it does drop to $300, I'll definitely buy me a box. So I guess you could have a little bit of lower floor on that one, but I don't think there's tons of it out there. So the second edition boxes, man, these when they first came out, they were super high. Just like every Metazoo set since then, it's been just no doubt massively overpriced upon release, and then it just drops like crazy. The second set, they made 65,000 boxes, or that's the second edition of Cryptid Nation, I should say, not the second set. And it does have the cool secret rare, exclusive secret rare card that you could get. The first edition ones had the red ink, really cool card, and the second edition have the blue ink. So there is a really cool secret rare card that you can pull. That's the only way you can get them, is from the booster boxes. But when I was able to get a few, man, I'd say probably a year ago, a few of them, maybe 8 months ago or so, for around $60 per box shipped to my house. They've dropped down even more since then. I think I've seen them for around $50. So I don't see the floor dropping much more on those, because like I said, for the same reasons before. You have a really cool secret rare card. You have, a lot of really cool cryptid hollows that you could get. And you got the Mothman, the original Mothman card that you can pull, even though it's second edition. It's a really cool card. And it'll always be remembered as that first set, even though it's second edition. Okay, so moving on to Nightfall. So Nightfall, let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, Nightfall was the actual second set that came out, and I really like this set. It has my all-time favorite Metazoo card, which is the Grim Reaper. That one's really cool. Love that art. They only made 50,000 boxes of Nightfall. And Nightfall came out when Metazoo was really starting to build up steam, so a lot of this stuff got open. It has probably the all-time greatest secret rare chase card, the old scratch that you can only get in booster boxes. And it also has God packs, which a lot of people are trying to chase those. So a lot of this stuff got open, and they even once in a while do a special with Metazoo, where if you pull a Metazoo or a old scratch on camera, you win all these sorts of prizes. So a lot of that stuff got open this past couple months. So I don't think there's tons of Nightfall around, and I think the floor has already happened on Nightfall. It got down to around 125, 130 a box. I bought my boxes way higher than that, and then there was like a big drop off, and now they've slowly built them back up to about 140 something. But I think that's because the supply is starting to dry up on that stuff. But this is probably the only set after the original first edition set that didn't completely collapse on release. So maybe that has to do with the has to have a lot to do with the print run only being 50,000, and also a really cool secret rare in the set, and just generally really cool art. A lot of classic cards out of that set also. I mean, you got the Wendigo also is from that set, which is a pretty neat card. Headless Horseman. There's a bunch of cool ones. So I think the floor going forward is probably going to be about where it is right now, 140. I can see it dipping down, 100. Maybe you'll get back down to 125 again, but I don't think there's tons of this stuff left sealed. But I could be very wrong. Okay, the next set that came out is Metazoo Wilderness. So I love the Wilderness set. I think it's great. It definitely has the coolest secret rare type chase cards that you can get. Even though they're not as cool as the old scratch, there's actually more than one. You got the Green Man, and it's the Green Man is actually serialized on top of being an exclusive secret rare. A bad thing about Wilderness is they ramped up production. There's 100,000 booster boxes of Wilderness, and that really killed the just obliterated the floor of where this set could have been. You can get golden tickets, you can get silver tickets, you can get, I think there's bronze tickets too. So, and some of these have never been pulled. So they're very rare chase cards. They're out there somewhere. And another little bit bad thing about the booster boxes is it seems like there weren't, your pull rates on getting hollows in the booster boxes was not as good as the other sets. So if you buy a booster box, you could have a booster box with like 2 or 3 hollows, and there's been people opening them on camera on YouTube and only got 2 or 3 hollows, which would really suck. So, and also some of the secret rares were also in, they weren't just in booster boxes, they were in spell books. I mean, they were, all of them you could get in booster boxes, but they're also available in other packs as well, not just in booster boxes. So it makes it way tougher to pull those really cool secret rare chase cards out of booster boxes. Plus, tough to get hollows. Now, there are boxes that have like 20 some hollows, so if you hit one of those, awesome. But the bottom line is massively overprinted, and there's some people that don't really dig Wilderness, the theme of it. It seems more lighthearted. I love it. Some people prefer much darker sets, but I did like it. I think the art is fantastic. You have 3 different dragons you can chase, hollows, that are not super tough to pull. There are some cards I've never been able to pull out of that set that aren't even secret rares, like some of the full hollows I've never been able to get. I'd love to get one someday. And the booster boxes on these are shockingly like $55 a box. And I bought, the first couple boxes I bought were at the release price of like $120. Man, that seemed like a bad move now. But, I mean, they're still fun. You have to figure in fun factor when you get stuff like this. Metazoo definitely one of the funner hobby box or booster boxes to open. So if you figure that in as a price, you know, Metazoo's pretty worth it. But getting back on track to what is the floor on Metazoo Wilderness? Well, due to the incredibly high print run, I mean, they're going to be having boxes of this sealed for years, and even with the chase, the really cool chase cards in there, I could see this dropping down to the 40s, honestly. So I think the floor has not been met yet for Wilderness. Now, you might look back and say, man, I wish you wouldn't have said that, and this set starts taking off. I doubt it. But right now you can get it for around $50 a box, which I think is an unbelievable deal. But I still think there's room for it to drop a little more. Okay, great set though. All right, now moving on to, yes, the UFO set. This one was like one of my most anticipated sets of the whole run. I love this set, and I'm shocked at how fast this set has dropped in price. Even before it released, you could get it for like $80 some, which is like almost half of what their suggested price was. I'm not sure what went on, except that Metazoo popularity is starting to really drop. But this is a really cool set. One negative thing about it, it's a first set that didn't really, at least as far as I can tell, does not have a true secret rare card. They have like 12 cards that are numbered out of 10 that actually went to space, which is really cool, but they're just kind of like alternate art versions of other cards and don't really stand out that much. Not like a Pokemon alternate art card where the art is amazing. These are just kind of like just a different art. It's hard to explain. There's nothing special about them except it's just a different image. Where like a Pokemon alternate art card is usually just knockout art, just really cool artwork. The cool thing about those is that they were actually in outer space. But, you know, pretty tough to pull those. And I'm not even sure if all of them have been pulled yet, all 12 yet. But those are the chase cards from that set. So not as cool as getting a really exclusive, like an old scratch or a red ink or something like that. But it still has chase cards. And they are serial numbered out of 10. So really neat that they're serialized cards. And I mean, I'll give it to Metazoo. They're the first ones to come up with the idea of putting serialized TCG cards in booster boxes. Very cool. And also very gutsy putting these super hard to get secret rare cards in some of these sets. I wish they would have kept doing it for UFO, but the UFO set is amazing. And the booster boxes are incredible because people are getting like 30 some hollows per box. And like the weakest boxes I've seen still had like 20 hollows. I mean, the booster boxes are so loaded in this stuff. I'm not sure why that is. So it's almost been weird in that reverse hollows are so hard to pull because there's so few of them. Those have actually are starting to outpace the hollow versions of cards. Interesting. So, what's the floor on Metazoo UFO? Well, I think we haven't even come close to seeing the floor of this. I mean, like I said, it started off dropping like $60 a box before it even released. It's all the way down to around $50 a box now, and it hasn't been out a whole long time. They made 100,000 boxes of UFO, and there's no like really cool chase card to go after, so I don't see tons of it getting ripped of people just looking for chase cards. There could be chase cards that we don't know about. I'll put that caveat in there because you never know. He might have actually did a secret rare card for the set and just people haven't pulled it yet. But my gut feeling is there aren't any other secret rares. I could very well be wrong. Metazoo is full of surprises. But I think the floor on this set is going to be about $40. I don't think... It might even get down to $35 a box, but I wouldn't bet on it. I could definitely see it getting down to $40 though. And for $40, that's a fun rip. For $50, it's an incredible rip. So can you imagine how fun it would be for just $40? Just unbelievable. And those are first edition packs, guys. Boxes. Now, I bought a few boxes when it first came out at the $80-some level. And yeah, I've lost a lot of money on the actual price of the boxes, but I really haven't lost it because I just bought them for me, and they're sitting, you know, tucked away. I'm opening up a booster box just to see what it's like, and it's been super fun. So as far as an investment, it's a terrible investment, but it's an investment in fun, is what I might say. Okay, and then the last box, the last set, the fifth set that's come out, I haven't bought that set, and I probably won't. It's the Seance set. Now, the Seance booster box, it started off out the gates dropping about $20 a box. Now, they only made about, they only made 50,000 boxes of that, so similar to Nightfall. I'm going to zoom back out. So, similar to the Nightfall set in that there's only 50,000 boxes of it available. Now, do I think it's as good as Nightfall? No. I think the dark theme of the set is a little too dark. I think it definitely turns off me as a Metazoo collector. But I can't be the only person that feels that way. But who knows, it may bring in more Metazoo people. But right now, it's coming out at the worst time for Metazoo. Metazoo popularity is really down. It's still fun. I'm sure it's fun to open a box of Seance. But another bad thing about Seance is apparently there's not a secret rare again, like the Old Scratch or the Green Man. But there are some cards numbered out of 20, serialized, that are very tough to spot unless you're looking for the serial number. They're not alternate arts. They look exactly the same as the other holos, except there are the serialized numbers on the card, and also in the holo, it has a special holo pattern, like specific to that character. It's hard to explain it without showing it. I don't have one to show you. But like, let's say you pull, I don't even know what's in that set. We'll just say Mothman. I don't think there is a Mothman. But there would be like little Mothman in the holos of the serialized cards. So, kind of a cool idea, but, you know, have been people that have missed them and lost out big time because they didn't notice it was a serialized card. So look at those cards close, guys. But that is the chase out of Seance. And it being 50,000 boxes, it will eventually dry up before some of these other sets. It does hurt that it doesn't have the big secret rare, but it is a set that's probably trying to get a new audience of Metazoo people playing the game, and maybe it's the next step to get Metazoo to kind of explode a little more, or to catch on. But another thing about Seance is I can't find it anywhere, mainly because they've pretty much ruined a lot of the relationships they've had with the online sellers. Like the two places I've bought Metazoo from before, they don't sell Metazoo anymore. Actually, the three places that I buy TCG cards from online, none of them have anything to do with Metazoo anymore. So Metazoo burned a lot of bridges with some of their sellers, and they're trying to get to more of a ground roots selling with smaller groups of maybe some TCG stores, the ones I just don't know about. But Metazoo is very controlling of their prices, which is one of the reasons why those other companies don't sell them anymore. But when it's tougher to find the stuff, there's going to be a lot less people interested in it. So I think the floor on Seance is going to be probably around that 50, 55 level. It's been dropping. I've been keeping an eye on it, see what it goes down to. It's down to like 90, 85 to 90 a box right now, and it just came out recently, so it's dropped quite a bit. Not as fast as UFO, but it's definitely trending down. So I could see it 6 months from now, people trying to dump them for $50 a box, because when you don't have a lot of people able to sell them and there's 50,000 boxes, there's a lot of people holding a lot of boxes of that stuff, and eventually they're going to want to dump them. Alright, so hope you enjoyed this video, kind of a talk about the floor of what I think the floor of Metazoo booster boxes are going to be. I still think they're super fun, and I like opening them, and they're already talking about their next set, which is native. I might get back in on native, especially if there's some cool looking cards and an interesting concept of that set. I have no idea what it's going to be about, but I hope there's some cool cryptids. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos later.